Joyful pranams and welcome to this episode 8 of Craft Your Swabhava series. As always, let's take a moment to say our prayers so that this session goes very well. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavidyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. So, just quick recap of what we have done so far. We have done the 3 steps, which is discover, discriminate, and define. I'm sure all of us have done that work. We had shared the questionnaire or the workbook, whatever needed to be done, with that assumption that we have done. If not, my suggestion is quickly go back and do those steps because it is very sequential here, and these episodes are not independent, but they are sequential. In the previous step, define, we did identify our purpose, not the goal, purpose, which means which gives us a direction. And why was that important? Because all our swabhavas need to be aligned or in supportive of our direction or the purpose. The goal can keep changing, but the purpose, right? Something could be favorable, something could be not favorable. So it's important to identify. So before that, we need to define what our purpose is. I hope you have done that and we are ready for the next step to whatever the extent. And let's go and understand how do we actually design our new swabhavas. So first thought is in this step, very important that we have to consciously shape ourselves to fulfill our defined purpose, right? And important, we are both sculptor and the sculpture. So we are going to do that whole, hammering, whatever the tools we want to use. So we will discuss that, but we are going to do it to ourselves. So this is a self-reflection of what we need to do. I hope the image is kind of explaining what we are trying to say. So how do we do, or why should we design new Swabhava? Because discovery and purpose are not enough. You have discovered and then you have your purpose set, but is that enough? Will it help us to reach our goal post, which is could be dynamic? No. We need to, the challenges, the old Swabhavas can pull us back. That is the reason why we need to design. Because so habitual over the years, what we call as conditioning, it's very difficult to change that, right? So it's important. We have to, it will pull us back. That's why we need to design. And some swabhava might be required, which we don't have. Then what happens if you don't have it? It will limit our own growth. We can't reach where we want to reach. And that's the reason that conscious inner design will ensure alignment to our purpose. That's the whole purpose, why we are trying to do this exercise. 2 goals of design. Goal 1, dilute and dissolve limiting swabhavas. We may say, oh, I want to give this swabhava. We've identified, right, which is not favoring, which is favoring. So I know I have my procrastination for whatever the reasons. Go into the deep, find out that, and say, I want to give it up. Immediately, it's not as easy as we think to give it up, throw it up. No. It's, I wish I could just take it out and put it in a dustbin like the way image shows, but it's not that easy. So maybe first we have to dilute it and then probably dissolve over a period of time consciously. So after diluting or dissolving, then we start creating new swabhavas. Because sometimes there is no space also, right? So how every day we clear our dustbin in the morning, the trash bin, the night or whatever, we have to, so that there is a space to create new ones, right? So just imagine that, and we need to do that. In fact, I had learned this from somewhere, that every night, imagining there is a trash bin inside you, and whatever those things you don't want, which has happened to during the day, some of those emotions, feelings which we don't need, visualizing and putting into the trash bin and throwing would really help us to start fresh the next day. Right? So thus we can include every day some of those swabhavas we want to dilute. If it is which we have demonstrated those behaviors, maybe put it out. So this could be one of the things. Then we'll create a new swabhava which are needed again to live the purpose which we have chosen. And this reference from Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 so beautifully says, Uddaret Atmanam Atmanam Natmanamavasadayet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhuratmaiva Ripuratmanaha. So beautiful, isn't it? Let a person lift oneself by oneself. Let him not degrade. I think many times we underestimate ourselves, or we look down on ourselves, or we think, outward we may not show, but innerly that low confidence that I don't think I will be able to do. Will I be able to do? Those questions. So beautifully say, Atman, just lift yourself up. And it is possible. If we can't lift ourselves up, who else can? Right? Maybe later, but when we can, let's do that. How? Watch here the steps. The first, studying our purpose. I hope we have defined it in the defined episode, the previous episode. You would have identified, realized the path, the direction, if not the goal. Once that is done, then we need to identify the required qualities. If I have to travel in this path of my purpose, whatever we have chosen, maybe let's say for that, what do I need? Maybe I need some physical strength, because my goal requires my physical strength, because often we more focus on our mind, the focus on skills. I need to learn the skills, I need to learn the skills. Maybe we've learned the skill, but even to implement the skills you might need a good swabhava or the supportive swabhava. When I say the word good, it is supportive swabhava or the favorable swabhava. So first, let's identify what are those new qualities, swabhavas I need, or each one of us. Then find the gaps. Do I have that? Do I don't have it? If I have, to what extent is it enough, or do I need more? So that little finding those gaps is definitely helpful. And once we identify the gap, then we'll have to create a growth blueprint. I think this is the crux of this entire process. The rest probably relatively easier, relatively. So when I say blueprint, I think one of the ways we can do is list down all the activities we do in a typical day. Right? Not those exceptional days, but a typical day, morning to night. It's a worth, the exercise is worth doing. List out all your activities. And then each activity, ask yourself, is it supporting, favoring the change I want to bring in, whether to dissolve the not required swabhava or unfavorable swabhava, or to adopt a new swabhava. Let's say, as I said, maybe we want to work on our body, how our body should support. I'm not talking about the weight loss or fitness, but I want to bring that swabhava that body is as much as important as my intellectual skills. Right? It is very important. So then what I have to do, every activity, let's say, when I'm eating the food, I may stand and eat, or I'm sitting on the dining table and eat. But what if I sit down and eat? My physical strength will improve every day. And what do we normally do when we have an elevator versus steps? Do we take the stairs? Do we take the elevator? What I have observed, people take it involuntary the elevator way. Then said, when can we pause and say, can I take the steps? Because that will help me again to my purpose. So can I bring the change? And then everything, what I'm doing, if I've decided to do a walking every day or some kind of exercise, because I'm focused, I'm not building fitness here, nor I'm trying to, lose weight. That's not the purpose. I mean, I'm not saying that should not be done, but I'm just giving an example where how you go into swabhava than you're just at a skill level or action level. Then you'll have to, I keep saying, can we do it? Ensure all our 5 sense objects support that. That means you have to keep seeing something which will remind you constantly that, hey, you got to do this. And you have to keep listening. Maybe, you keep talking with a friend or an accountability partner, whichever works for each one of us, and keep talking about it, saying, I'm bringing the change. So next time when you talk, can you keep reminding me? Can you just check on if what I'm doing? So you keep listening. And then, the smell or even the taste or whatever it is, more, and the touch more, most powerful. I remember once, one of my friend would stay every day, go for running. So, but bringing that consistency was a challenge. So keep everything ready in the night. Your attire to your shoes, everything is next to you. When you open your eyes, that's a challenge, right? We keep an alarm rings, we open our eyes, but we snooze and sometimes go back. So that when you see all those uh, gears, if we can call it, that may say, oh, everything is ready, let me go. That may motivate us. So, like that, we have to find and maybe write affirmations about it, whatever that specific swabhava, I'm going to bring the change. Write an affirmation every day. From the entire environment, we need to create which supports us, which inspires us, which motivates us. That's the most important process in this blueprint. I'm sure I have shared few how you can do, but each one of us can think of it. And maybe simple things like somebody says you should, why are you doing? Very easy to get tempted. You're standing in elevator steps and you go into the steps, people will come and say, hey, why? There's elevator, why don't you take? Then you have to constantly remind and tell them, no, I am choosing. Not that I should, I am choosing to take that. So your words to what we write, what we listen, what we tell, what we do, everything should be in support of. So that's how you create a blueprint. Again, just a quick summary. Think of all the activities you do from morning to night and see what changes to be made. Even small, small changes, what we discussed now, and then your blueprint is ready. The next and the final step is practicing it consistently. So the stronger the blueprint, considering all this, it, most likely chances are very high we would practice it every day. So consider that while you're creating your blueprint. And I'm sure we all can practice this and move towards the new Swabhava. So some examples how people have done, we've heard, right? Mahatma Gandhi, he worked consistently to practice ahimsa, which is not easy, right? No matter if somebody is slapping you, somebody is harming you, yet you don't want to do it, it's not easy. But cultivated that by consistent, regular routines. I'm repeating, by consistent and routine activities. And of course, we've heard Sri Narayan Murthy, who designed leadership with integrity. The complete focus was on integrity. And anything, every action was consciously driven by integrity as a mantra. And Oprah Winfrey, she designed resilience and compassion. So much, I'm sure those of us who watch her shows, we know how much she demonstrates that. How much she, not only she is a resilient, and she brings that resilience in people around her, and the deep compassion. So these are a few examples. I'm sure if we start looking, people around us can become our inspiration. Small small things, little kids or even the animals, how they change their behaviors to the need. We can drive our motivation, inspiration, or the support from anything and everything around us. But let's consciously design it. Now we spoke more about how to build the new Swabhava. Now how to dilute the old Swabhava, right? Similar but small change. First, identify the patterns that limit or harm, which we have done it already, but just, let's refresh it and observe without judgment. Let's say, oh, I'm always like this. I don't think I can ever do it. Those are judgmental. Let's not do that. Let's be kind to ourselves. While it's important to be kind to others, let's be kind to ourselves. And then consciously choose new responses. For example, I want to drop something and say I should not be doing that. So instead of saying, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, that's not encouraged. And question is, who told you should not? It's a choice we have made to meet or to walk towards our own purpose. Right? So can we replace that instead of saying, I shouldn't be doing this? I am choosing not to do because this is not favorable to me. So every word, the response, what we give it to ourselves or even someone else. In fact, our mentor Ranga keeps working on his body, lot of these physical activities, and people, all of us ask, so are you working on fitness? He says, no, I'm working on changing a swabhava of mine, of believing or changing, saying body is as important as mind is. So that each response, so I'm giving up, what I was not doing, what was not, I was doing some of it which was not helping. So with the changing. And the last one is sublimate low energy into higher goals. Our conditioning, oh, it's raining, I don't want to go for a walk today. We can find of 101 reasons, excuses for not to do something because I'm giving up that procrastination swabhava. So that is a time, the moment something pulls you back, visualize the purpose. Ask yourself, why am I choosing to do, why am I even taking that little I'm being hard on myself, but for the larger good. This way reminds, I used to wonder how people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam would sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours, and still be energetic at any point of the day or night. I remember meeting him at 12 in the night, and energy levels were so high. That's where that question came, how come? And then the answer what I received was that they are aligned to higher purpose, the larger purpose, the deeper purpose, which will help them to meet their goals or walk in that path. So that's where for them, with their eating, sleeping, nothing matters. The higher purpose matters. Let's all work towards our higher purpose, and let's do that with patience. Of course, it requires patience because we are changing the conditioning, the programming. So let's remember that we need to have patience. Then the faith, that is, growth is definitely certain, but it requires effort, right? When you seed something, it takes time to flower or fruit. And let's be flexible. Sometimes you think this is works. Maybe we have to uh, keep doing course corrections. So that's very, very important. And most important, since we have chosen to do this, can we joyfully do it and celebrate every small success every day, end of the day? Yes, today I was able to do this. That will reinforce our subconscious mind. Okay, this is something nice to repeat. So celebrating every step, and instead I'll be happy when I reach there, can we happily reach there? That's what we say, do it with joy and celebration. And maybe your mind is a garden. I love this metaphor. And your habit are your seeds, and your life is the harvest. I think this summarizes, and we need to probably read this, see this multiple times to internalize it. And I'm sure, let's create some visual metaphor around, as I said, environment around us. There's a beautiful short story. A boy asked a sculptor, how do you create such beautiful statues? The sculptor replied, I simply remove what is not needed. I simply remove what is not needed. Right? You too, we too, all of us just have to remove what is not required, and the shape will come on its own. We don't have to worry about that. So this is beautiful Sanskrit saying, Swabhavam Shuddham Kuru Atma Deepena Prakashaya. Purify your swabhava and illuminate your life with the lamp of your own self. And once we light, right, we never consume, the light never consumes only itself. Or when I say consume, I'm saying the radiant, not just to ourselves. The light is just not for us. It will radiate around us, people around, and it is a ripple effect. It will illuminate the whole world. With this, I like this beautiful image which summarizes all that we have discussed. You are the stone, you are the statue, you are the sculptor, and you are the tool. Give something to the world to talk about. Let your strife, struggles, efforts, failures, progress, pain, and success be an inspiration to others. Let's work on ourselves. And as I said, once we work, I am sure we will be contributing to the larger purpose and the world will change as each one of us change. With this, I want to express my deep gratitude to all my gurus, my guru, my guru's guru, and guru's guru, all of them. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om. See you soon in the next episode. Coming soon. Be ready. Pranams.